do some feature engineering for to get our data set ready for model building. Okay, so if you see the various columns that we have, right, let's see the first three rows of the column, the data set that we have, right? So you can see that if you see the date of Jenny, right, it's in a date form, right? We have 24/03 and then 2019 is a date, right? So we need to actually format this in a date format instead of having it as an object. If you remember that over here when we check it was an object, right? We actually want to extract the day and then the month from this. So in order for us to do that, we need to format this in a date format. Okay, so what we're going to do is to actually do that. So we're going to actually convert it to date time, right? So we're going to convert our date of Jenny to date time using this function to date time, and then after that we're going to actually create a new column called day of Jenny, right, and then another column called month of Jenny, right. And what we're going to do is to select the day, right. We selected the day, we just pick up the day, which is in this case will be 03, right. We pick up the day, and then the month, the day will be 24, right, and then the month will be 03. So we pick up the month, right, which is 03, and then we pick up the day, which is going to be 24th, right. So that's basically what we're going to do over here. Now if we do that, and then you see over here that we see that the date of Jenny has been formatted in a different form, which is 2019-03-24, right, instead of what we have over here. And then the new column that we created, right, is this, which is day of Jenny, right, and then the month of Jenny. So you can see that we have 24 and then 3 over there, right. So that's basically what was there, 24 and then 3. That's what we wanted to actually extract. Remember that earlier on we were not having that, so it's only up to the price, but now after the price we have day of Jenny and then the month of Jenny. All right, so basically that's what we wanted to do. Now we don't actually need this anymore because the information that we needed from that column has been extracted, and we don't need this column extra. All right, so we drop that, right, we drop that from there, and then as this equals 1, showing that what we are dropping is actually in the column, and we use in place equals true to make all the changes reflect in our original data set. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing for all the other columns that we need to format. Okay, for instance, the departure time, right, the departure time, we need the hour, right, and then we need the minutes. Okay, so if you see how it is over there, let's go here. You see that we have 22 and then 20, so 22 hours, and then we have 20 minutes over here, right, 5 hours, and then we have 50 minutes over here. So we're going to actually extract the hours and then the minutes by first converting them to date time, and then we extract that. Okay, so if we create another column called departure hour and then departure minute, right. So the departure hour is actually going to take the hour, and then departure minute is actually going to take the minute, right. And then after that we drop the departure time. Now we don't need it anymore. We've extracted the information that we need, right, from that. We're going to do the same thing for the arrival time too. So you can see at the arrival time we have we're creating another column called arrival hour and then arrival minute over here, right. So for that we're going to extract the hour and then the minute, right. So if you see the column over here, the arrival time, we have the hour, right, and then we have the minutes, right, and then some the hour and then the minutes, right, we have it over there, right. You can see some of them how they are being it's just in a different format. So we first format it to date time, and then we extract the information that we need from that column. All right, so that's basically what we're doing there. And after that we drop that column because we will not need it anymore. And then we do the same thing for the arrival time. We drop that column because we don't need it anymore. And now we do the same thing for the duration time, right. So for the duration time, what we're going to do, if you see the duration, the column over here, let me go a little bit up for you to see. You see that we have 2 hours, then we have 50 minutes over here, right? So what we're going to do is to actually split this, right? We're going to split it into 2 hours and then 50 minutes. We're going to split it based on the space that is existing in between them, right? So we're going to split it based on the space that is in between them, right? So that's basically what we are doing down here. So let me actually go here for you to see. Okay, so that's basically what we're doing over here. We're going to split it based on the space, and then after that, what we're going to do is that if you see this part, let me go a little bit up. Duration, yeah, you can see that some of them are having 2 hours and then 50 minutes, 7 hours, 25 minutes. Some have only hours, right? But with no minutes. Now, what we want is to extract the hours and then the minutes, right? So if we have 19 hours like this without the minutes, right, it means that the minutes are 00, right? So what we're going to do is to actually fill that part. So if there's no minutes over there, we're going to fill the minutes with the 00m, right? Meaning that it's just 0 minutes over there. Okay, so that's basically what we are going to do. So we're going to fill the NaN, which is nothing but where we don't have minutes, all right? We're going to fill that with 00m over there. All right, then after that, we're going to actually extract the hours which is present at the index 0, right? And then we're going to leave the last part, which is nothing but the h over there. So if we go and then see over here, all right, let me actually show you over here. Okay, so at index 0, so we have actually like this. Let me write on the screen for you to actually see. So we actually have index 0 here, then we have index 1 over here, right? So if we pick index 0, right, we actually want to pick only these two, right? We only want to pick these two without picking the h, right? Without picking the h. That's why we're using negative indexing. So if we use negative indexing, then we're going to have -1 and then -2, right? -1 and -2. So we're going to pick only this, right? Only the two. And then if we use the -1, it means that we want to just get rid of this h, right? So that's basically what we are going to do. So we're going to do it for all of them, right? So at index 0, then getting rid of the h, which is going to be at index -1. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing for this one too. We're going to do, so this one will be at index 1 and then getting rid of this m, which will be -1 over there, right? Using negative indexing. Okay, so that we'll be able to extract only the numbers and not the letters in there. All right, so that's basically what we are doing over here, right? That's basically what we are doing over here. All right, so over here we are extracting at index 1, which is going to be nothing but it's going to actually select only the item at index 1, right? It's going to select the item at index 1 and then leave, right? It's going to leave the last one over there, which is nothing but the m, right? Which we don't want, right? Which we want to get rid of. Now, after that is done, after that column is done, what we're going to do is to drop the duration, because now we don't need it anymore. We've extracted the information that we actually need from that. All right, so now let's see our data set again. Let's see how it is right now. So you can actually see that now we have day of journey, the information that we extracted, we just extracted now here, right? So we have day of journey, month of journey, and departure hour, departure minutes, arrival hour, arrival minutes, duration hour, and then duration minutes. So this is actually the information that we want, and that's what we've been able to extract from our data set. All right, so that is done. What we're going to actually do is to actually do some visualizations along with this what we are doing earlier on. Now let's see the count of the various airlines that we have in our data set. Okay, so we have this. We have Jet Airways, which is around 3,849 of them, right? So we have 3,849 Jet Airways in there. We have Indigo, right, which is the second highest, 2,053, right, followed by Air India, right? Air India is around 1,751 of them. Okay, all the way to True Jet, right, which is only one in there. All right, so this is the count of the various airlines that we have in our data sets, right? So let's see the airlines and then the price, right? So let's see the various airlines versus their price. Now, what I'm going to do is to actually since we're interested in the airline and then the price, right? So we're going to actually group our data set by the airline, right? And we are interested in the price, right? So we're going to find the mean price, right? We're going to find the mean price of these airlines, and then so we're going to sort them from the smallest to the highest, right? So in ascending order. All right, so over here, I think you're familiar with all these stuff, right? Just setting the figure of our visualization that we're going to do. So over here, right? So we're just setting the figure of this visualization, right? So that's what you can actually see: 15 of the length and then 10 of the height, and then you can actually order of the width, and then you can see that we're using SNS, which is nothing but the C-bone, and then we have the bar plot. Okay, so that's what basically what we're going to do. And then we are using the index and then the values of it. Okay, that's basically what we're going to do. I have a plt.hticks over here, which is nothing but how I want to rotate these, right? So this one, I've just rotated them at 270 degrees. You can just rotate them anyhow that you want, either 90 degrees, 180, 45, or whatever you want to rotate it. Okay, so let's have an overview of this plot and then see the various price, which airlines are having the highest price over there. So as you can see, the first one over here is Jet Airways, right? Jet Airways business, that is a business class, and then the Jet Airways, that's the economy, right? So you can actually see that Jet Airways is actually having the highest price in there, right? All the way to this, always 60,000, right? 60,000 rupees in there, with True Jet being the least, right? Being the least, having the least price in here. Okay, so you can actually have an overview of which airlines are costing high, right? Which airlines are costing high. Now, we can also do the same thing using the box plot over here. So you can actually see that it's actually giving us the same information, having Jet Airways business class and then Jet Airways economy being the flight with the highest price over here, right? So you can see that this is also confirming, right, True Jet being the least in here. Okay, so you can actually have a visual overview of your data set. Now let's see it according to the number of stops that we have, right? Let's see it according to the number of stops. So in this case, I'm going to group it by the airline and also by the total stops, right? And we're interested in the price, right? So we're going to find the mean price of that. All right, you're interested in that. So if we do that, this is what we actually have over here. So if you pick, say, Asia, right? If you pick, say, Asia, you can see that for one stop, it cost 7,000 and 78.32 or 0.33, right? And then you can see that two stops cost around 6,341. Non-stop cost around 4,492. And then if you pick, say, Air India, right? Air India one stop actually cost around 9,000, right? And then you can see that two stops cost around 12,092, and three stops cost around 12,208, right? If you pick, say, let's pick, say, Jet Airways, you can see that Jet Airways one stop cost around 12,512, and then you can see that two stops cost around 13,000, right? Two stops cost around 13,000 and 387. If you pick Jet Airways business, you can see that one cost around 62,844, which is quite high, right? Very, very high. Two stops of that cost 49,387, right? So you can see that, the number of stops also counts, right? So you can actually see that the higher the stop, the lesser the price, right? And the fewer the stops, the higher the price. So for instance, one stop in this case cost around 62,844, and then two stops cost around 49,387, right? If you compare it with all the others, you can see that, for instance, if you pick, say, True Jet, you can, or maybe let's pick, say, Air India, you can see that one stop cost around 9,041, and then two stops cost around 12,000 for 902, right? So in this case, to the number of stops, counts, which if you have more stops, then you're going to pay more. Or if you pick Air India, right? If you pick Jet Airways, is the same thing. If you pick, say, one stop, you're going to pay less, but if you pick two stops, you're going to pay more, right? So this one gives you an overview of the various stops and how the charges are being related to the stops. All right, so that is that.